So today's the day. I'm going to give you a simple explanation of exactly how the Maffetone method works, and hopefully it will save you a bit of time in doing the looking for yourself. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so here it goes. You need to pick a day to start your new nutritional regime, because this is a bigger part in the whole Maffetone process than the exercise itself. And with this new regime, you need to totally eradicate junk food from your diet. I know that's tough, but it's got to be done. So that would include crisps, pasta, chocolate, milk, cookies, cake, sweets or candy, anything like that. I'm afraid it has to go. So now for the good news. This is the food that you should be eating. Meat. So that's all meat is good, except for the ones that are processed, like chorizo and salami and sausages. But everything else is fine. All fish and shellfish are good to go. All vegetables and fruit, eat as much as you please. Cheese that is unprocessed, like your Parmesan and your cheddar cheese and your mozzarella, they're all good to go. Just try and avoid the really processed stuff like cheese spread and obviously cheese slices, because they are definitely classed as junk. Double cream and real butter are good for your drinks. Plenty of water, coffee and tea if you drink it. Vegetable juice if you like that sort of thing. And then you've got your alcohol, which is your gin and your vodka and your whiskies. And then you've got some dry white wine and some red wine. But keep it into moderation, people. Whole grains like brown rice and quinoa are good. All types of nuts are good and very nutritious. Try and avoid peanuts where you can, and try and keep your nut intake down to about a handful a day, because those bad boys pack some calories. Seeds and legumes like chickpeas and lentils. Oils like olive oil and avocado oil. All coconut products are good. So that'd be your coconut oil, your coconut milk, coconut cream and coconut butter. Rices, potatoes and whole oats can be eaten, but should be eaten in moderation. All tofu products are good, and Greek style yogurts as well. You can even liven them up with a little bit of organic honey. Eggs, loads of eggs, as many as you please. Then make use of all your herbs and spices, because they are fine, and also make use of your vinegar and your balsamic vinegar, because they are the saviour of the salad, obviously. So once you've nailed the nutrition side, you want to be starting to do some exercise if you don't already, and that will be any of your choice, whether it's cycling or running. My preferred is running. And with that, you need to do some muscle strength training, whether that is with weights or without, and you can just do it at home. So now we need to work out your maximum aerobic heart rate by using Dr. Philip Maffetone's 180 method. To do that, you need to subtract your age from the number 180. I'll give you a second to do that. There it goes. Right, and now you need to subtract another 10 from that number you just worked out if you have or are any of the following. If you've recently been injured, if you've only just started exercising, if you've recently had a hospital trip, if you've recently had an operation and had to come out of hospital, if you've been inconsistent with your training and are finding you're not getting anywhere, and if you are over fat. To know if you're over fat, you need to measure your waist around a belly button height, and if that number is higher than half of your height, then you are classed as over fat. So if you've had none of those things, you can stay at the original number you just worked out. If you've been training for up to 2 years, about 4 times a week, you've had none of the following, the previous problems I just mentioned, and everything is going fine. So you can stay at your number. And you can even add 5 to your number if you've been training for over 2 years and everything's been going fine and you have none of the previous mentioned problems. So you can add 5 to your original number. So for example, I'm 37, 180 take away 37 is 143. That is my number for now. I've not had any of those problems that I just mentioned. I've been training for 18 months, so not quite the 2 years, and I've had no problems up to that. So I think that makes me be able to keep my number at 143. So now I must do all my exercise at 143 and 10 below. So anything between 143 and 133. So before you begin, you need to do your MAF test, MAF test. You need to gradually get your heart rate up to your MAF number over the space of a mile. And then after that, you need to start your watch. You need to run for 3, 4 or 5 miles. You need to write down the splits of the miles you've done. So then you have something as a future reference when you do your next test. Your next test will be in 4 weeks' time, where you're doing the same track, same conditions, all at that given heart rate. So now you can do all your exercise after that test at your given number. There's no set schedule for this. You go out as much as you can or as much as you please. I would say to try and allocate some time through your week to go to make sure you get the runs in or the cycles in, whether that's before work or in your lunch break or after work, or and definitely on your days off. I would try and get a long run in there to build up your mileage, or do it on the day off that you're given from your employer. What you will find that you are recovering quick enough after each one, because you're not exerting yourself massively straight away. You'll find yourself recovering quick enough to be able to get out more than you would before, and this is good. And then obviously you need to get a couple of days at least of your strength training in, because you will lose some weight during this, and you don't want that to be muscle weight. You want that to be your body fat. You want to get plenty of quality sleep in if you can. You want to reduce any daily life stresses that you have where you can. Also, you want to safely get some sunshine to your skin. Seems to be helpful for that job. And make sure that you appropriately warm up and cool down to maximize your recovery. So now, after 4 weeks of doing your MAF training and eating like an absolute king, you need to do another MAF test where you go out and you mimic the first test, and you need to see if you've made any progress. But don't be disheartened on this first one if you've made little progress or none at all, because it does take about 3 or 4 weeks for your body to adjust and for the whole method to kick in. And after another 4 weeks, you need to repeat the test again and match it to the previous 2. And by then, I'm pretty sure you're going to be seeing some decent results in your times. And that is all with running without any extra effort and all at the same heart rate. So the whole idea of this MAF method is to run happy and run stress-free. You'll find you're recovering quick enough to go for more miles. And my general feeling about this, what I read, is that people actually fall in love with their running again. And you should keep this way of running going until you've built a solid aerobic base, or until you start to plateau, in which then you can add in some more intense work, like some intervals. But try and keep that down to a minimum, sort of like 80% MAF and 20% intervals, or even 90% MAF and 10% intervals. Now, this might start off slowly for some people, and it does take time to build it up, but I've seen some people that get down to running sort of 7-minute miles and below that after a length of time. So if it starts high, it's just showing what sort of condition your aerobic base is at. So give it time and see how far you can get down before you make any drastic decisions. If you're not progressing, you need to check back on the details that you put at the start and make sure you've given yourself an honest assessment. Make sure your heart rate's not too high or too low of the one you've selected. If everything's good, then I'd say you're on your way to becoming a fit and healthy and injury-free and just a genuine happy runner. Please give us a thumbs up if I've saved you some time and you found this content useful, and please consider subscribing to my channel as well, and don't forget to hit the bell if you want to see any future updates. So I will be posting regularly. So thanks for joining me. Stevo out.